witness and pray with family members who lost two sons among the 510 shot or killed the last 16 months. Looking at the urban crisis face to face. Planned here with Rainbow Push Saturday to have a Stop the Violence Stimulus Intervention rally. Sun-Times report this past weekend of the level of depression in the black community, and it's true across America. Needs to be some targeted stimulus to address the issues, pain of neglect, and abounding fear and violence. A report came out this week in Illinois, more black men in prison than in college, locking up young black men for a profit that's become an industry. This is indeed a state of emergency. Last week we talked with the Pitts family that just lost one of their children. They came with us to pray last week with another son. He was killed the next night. There's abounding fear. People are living in a state of terror. Indeed, there's a state of emergency. If there are plans to protect the Olympic Village, Chicago is an Olympic village. We must protect our children now. They need Olympic security, Olympic education, and really Olympic opportunities. In this urban crisis, which must be addressed by the city and the nation, combination of plants closing, jobs out, drugs and jails coming, drugs and guns coming, and a continuous warfare over sub-economy turf of drugs and guns. The bill in Springfield today that is designed to increase background checks on guns. That is a baby step in the right direction. And there's a time for the president to revive the ban on semi-automatic weapons. There is no defense against these weapons. Every police chief in America has made an appeal to not let these weapons be on the streets of our nation. 510 Chicago kids shot or killed the last 18 months. These are Baghdad numbers. These are war zone numbers. Illinois is the #1 state in the nation that produces semi-automatic weapons. So at every level, we must look at the impact of the loss of jobs, loss of hope, loss of lack of job training, and lack of reentry programs for these young people. So we want right now more police security, but we need more than police intervention. We need job intervention and job training intervention. These young men and women in the main are unemployed at the 30 to 40% level. Not long ago, when Jennifer Hudson's mother and brother and nephew was killed, we were out in the Inglewood area, an area where the president used to organize. And one young man came up to me crying, saying, "I want to get well, but there are no detox centers." Two more came up and said, "We want reentry jobs. We just got out the joint," and there is no plan for us. When you come out of the jail, the overwhelming number that's in the jail, number one, if you go to 85% of our children are on some form of public assistance or free lunch. They go to school, they get 5 meals a week. They go to jail, they get 21 meals a week. For them, jailers becomes a hotel. It becomes a place of warmth. It's a step up. We all deserve better than that. We're looking at the heart of the of the urban crisis, jobs leaving, drugs and guns coming. We must measure the impact of the stimulus by how it penetrates at the bottom, not just leaves with the banks, but the roots, the people who face chronic unemployment, who need jobs, need job training now. When the construction jobs come, and the reconstruction jobs come, these young Americans must be high on the list to get priority on the training and the retraining. If they've gotten the skill while in jail, if they were a felon, there are about 60 jobs that they cannot do. They cannot become a barber or beautician. They cannot work at a government facility. They cannot work at a fast food restaurant, nor a hotel, nor a hospital. They're almost programmed back into recidivism. There must be some waivers based upon good behavior to use their skills to be part of the new economic stimulus. But we alone must use our strength even now to stop the flow of weapons. They do not make these guns in these ghettos. We know who make them. And the ghetto is a target market for guns and drugs to offset the impact of loss of jobs and plants. I want to thank the Pitts family for standing up through all of their pain, having lost 2 sons, another one under severe threat today. I want to thank Alderman Fioretti for the work he has done. We've worked tirelessly the last 3 years to deal with the impact of the loss of jobs and houses and growing despair. And let us use this moment to address it. So while we reach out with a sense of joy and glee for the Olympics in 2016, we must have Olympic education, Olympic security, and Olympic possibilities. We appeal to the mayor and the governor to move swiftly. We know on the ground the aldermen in the various districts are working tirelessly. Talked with 2 of them today, Alderman Polk and Jackson, putting together various task forces on the ground because trying to reduce tensions between rival groups. We seek to build bridges between blacks and browns, emerging all young blacks to learn to speak Spanish, Latinos to learn to speak English so they might be able to communicate one with the other. You see each other as partners in growth and not see each other as threats and engage in the kind of warfare that we see taking place on our streets today. We appeal for support for teachers and principals in our schools who are in the middle of this warfare, not by their own choice, but by the predicament that they're in. Whether the violence takes place in the schools or in the streets, it's violence nonetheless. 7 of 10 young black males and Latinos do not finish high school. Many are afraid to come to school. Many are afraid to come to school. Others of them know in these new charter schools that they go across various gang territorial lines, their lives are in jeopardy. They need help. They need intervention that they need right now. Stop the violence intervention and stimulus intervention today. I want Alderman Fioretti now to share with us briefly. And then I want Mrs. Pitts to share with us, a woman whose heart has suffered the most damage in the last few weeks in this crisis as we seek to change the course. Alderman.